From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a PrimeWave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD Primetime Capper, and this is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, and we are in LA feeling good, feeling great, and boy, oh boy, another Super Bowl down, and now all we have to do now is just wait for another 9 months, and I'll sit back and go back and forth about what my team gonna do and all this good stuff, and the regular old schmo when it comes to the NFL. But you know what, though? Before we jump into it, we're going to go ahead and bring in my dog, my man, the Don of Cape Cod himself, the one and only Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors. What's up? What's going on, my brother? How's everything going today?
Well, we shoveled off about a foot of snow last night. My direct TV dish, I set an under over a 4.5. I had to go out there 7 times during the Super Bowl. But all is well back here. Sun's out. Great Super Bowl. We talked on Monday. And then, I don't know, by the end of the week, I was hemming and hawing. And then we'll talk about what transpired Saturday night into Sunday and the Super Bowl, of course.
Well, what a night. That's all I can say is that this night was amazing. In a sense, we had a great Super Bowl for one team. And this took me all the way back to 2003, San Diego, California. And that team, the Raiders, could not be beat. Rich Gannon, best quarterback in all of football, best offense in all of football. Gruden got, we got Bill Callahan got this whole thing rolling. They're going to embarrass Gruden tonight because, he pissed Al Davis off. But all in all, what happens to, pretty much Bruce Arians gets the last laugh over old Andy Reid, the savvy vet, the coach that gets everything right all the time and has the perfect plan and uses all of his players, all that good stuff. And Andy Reid went back to being Andy Reid of old in the Philly days where bad decision-making was just common in a big game. You know what I mean? So it was just crazy to see that this wound up going in that direction to last night. And I just really, truly think that this Super Bowl was probably Tom's most complete one. He didn't have to worry about a super comeback at the end. He didn't have to put away the team. He didn't have to do any of that because he got to run with the defense that said, you know what? We're going to put our flag here on the middle of the 50-yard line, and we're going to go ahead and win this game. And they dominated on both sides of the ball, on the offensive line and the defensive line, the trenches. And that's what wins you the Super Bowl at the end of the day. And people have to understand that part. It's so many things that go on to win that game, so many elements to win that game. And from what I saw last night, I saw a Bucs team that was more focused on the task at hand on winning the Super Bowl and going against a team that was so cocky coming into it that, oh, we got everything already taken care of. We got everything made. We got Mahomes. He's the future, blase. We got the cheetah over here. We got Kelsey. We got all these great players. We got the honey badger. These guys, we ran the NFL this year. We only lost to division opponents because we gave away the game. And I felt like they gave away that game just like they did it with the Chargers and Raiders this season. How you feeling about that?
Well, Pops, you brought up a great point with the last Bucs Super Bowl because I did see in the back of my mind that defense prevailing yesterday. With the other team I compared this Bucs to was the 2007 Giants. That team was 11-5. They lost to the Patriots in the season. That Giant team went on the road, won 3 straight road games, and then met the Patriots again in the Super Bowl with the more physical defense. And then when you really look deep, you lose your left and right tackles, both all pros. Mahomes ran for his life with turf toe that you talked about during the day yesterday. It was the perfect storm. In the second half, in comes Fournette again. They're just pounding the rock. Tom didn't have to force the issue. And when you clear the dust and everything, injuries aside, they were the better team. And what I set out in our alert yesterday, which was kind of comical, is yes, you were right what you said about the Chiefs, but I said, who were the Browns? Who were the Bills? Great stories, great years. Look what Brady did. The Washington game I discount, but then he went into the Saints. They beat up Breeze, okay? And then they went to Lambeau, and they beat the number 1 seed Packers. Now they were coming home. They're coming home to face the team that they had 2 weeks to prepare for. And hats off to Todd Bowles. He went in and he came up with a scheme to really dive into those two second stringers. And Patty was running for his life, but it's over. Like you said, we got 9 months to go now, and now that's all we're going to hear is how, the Bucs are going to repeat. So,
all right. So pretty much, and we'll get to Todd Bowles in a second, but Tom Brady, 7th Super Bowl, 10th MVP. It's just crazy saying this. And I remember the first one, and it's fun, cracks me up because he won his first one. The next year, the Bucs won. So pretty much this is nuts in the last 20 years where you got a guy that won his first Super Bowl, then the team he wins the Super Bowl for in his latest Super Bowl won the year after him and really weren't a good team since that point. So Tom Brady, 10 Super Bowls, only person who can say that they went to 10 championship games in the NFL is Otto Graham, and that was in the old prehistoric days. You know what I mean? So pretty much when you look at this, Tom Brady is rewritten history, and he's still writing history in the NFL. And as I've told my colleague, my engineer earlier today, I said, no more saying Brady ain't going to make it back and he's too old and all this good stuff, because you know what? He just keeps making all of us look really, 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 really silly. And you know what? He's really playing a game with Father Time right now. And I'm telling you, Father Time is going to have he's going to have his day with Tom. But the thing is, though, not right now. I don't know who he made the deal with, Jeff, but damn, that was a good deal he made. You know what I mean? He was over there in the Northeast. You go to those secular parts in Maine and New Hampshire and all that good stuff. You never know which back room you're going to be walking into to make that deal.
No, yeah, I tell you, you go back to the Bucs season, okay? And when you really analyze this, Pops, it was a pandemic, no preseason. He left the job that he was with for 20 years, right? And then he comes over to a new system, okay? Already made offensively, good young defense. He brings over Gronk. He brings over AB. They bring over Fournette. 7-5 at the bye. And they just lost to the Saints a few games prior to that by 35 at home. Okay, it was the perfect storm. The bye came in the perfect spot, and we talked about on your shows before, their next 5 games, they were set up to win them all, and that's what they did, okay? They just built that momentum. They started to buy into Tom. They said, Tom, I hate to even say this, it cringed me to send out the Bucs yesterday because, I never bought into the Kool-Aid. I'm not a Brady. Listen, he's the GOAT. I get it, okay? But I'm a Bill guy as well. And in our business, it's all about wins and losses and profit. But the Bucs bought in. And as each game went, they got better and better and better. And he did it. I don't know. Like you said, he made a devil. He is dancing with the devil. I wish he'd just ride off into the sunset, give Bill the 2 fingers, said, I did it without you. I'm 7-3 in the Super Bowl. Adios, amigos. But he wants to play on.
Hey, and everybody says, well, if he wants to keep playing, let him keep playing. And I'm just saying, well, next year, defensive coordinators, you better start having some good conversations with your teams before the game and say, and we need some more Greg Williams in the locker room when it comes to Tom Brady. We're giving out bounties. We got to varve this guy, man. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. But you know what? Tom's such a cool character. It's like, I don't even want to do him like that. That's what I just noticed that with a lot of NFL players. They just don't want to do him like that. Now, let's go ahead. We it's a time thing with us right now. Let's talk about Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles was absolutely incredible yesterday. He is top 5 defensive coordinators in this league over the past decade. I don't think that they did him a great service in New York. They were impatient with him in New York. They could have made this thing work right now. The Jets would have been a much better team with Todd Bowles as their head coach this season, and we should all put that together. And so pretty much he got a little shafted in that situation, but he got the sweetest revenge by going with Bruce Arians, another guy who had to get his sweet revenge as well too. And really, they just finished the job of what they created in Arizona before that with Carson Palmer, with Carlos Dansby, Larry Fitzgerald, and all those guys. And remember, they were upended by the Carolina Panthers that year. They were out of sight, out of mind. That game was out of control by the second quarter. But this was their way to get their sweet revenge that day. And they had been there. They had coached winning football. And that's why this looked so good. And that's why I felt so good for Todd as well, too, in this position on him putting together and putting these strong egos together. JPP, former big-time all-pro defensive lineman. Sue, who I thought was going to change the game forever. The first ever defensive lineman that has to take on a triple team and still can beat it. Then you have Devin White, who was just absolutely incredible. Devin White put himself in Mike Singletary level, the Dick Butkus levels of players yesterday, where a middle linebacker just absolutely just destroys the other side. Devin White was absolutely incredible. If Tom Brady's not there, they hand him the MVP yesterday, honestly. And I just really think when they got to when they really knew it was time to really win this game was when they started really beating up on Mahomes big time. I'm saying, meet me at the quarterback. And as you can see in the picture right here, it looked like those 3 times they hit him looked like car wrecks. Seriously. I do not know how the boy got up. And then he even gets up on one play. He thought the play was still alive. That's how hard they was hitting him yesterday, man. And that's just the ode to the defense right there, man. So that's Todd Bowles. He was the true MVP, and he really put together a great defensive scheme that a lot of coaches are going to copycat now. I'm telling you, this wasn't the greatest film for the Chiefs. And next year, teams are going to know exactly what they have to do to combat the Chiefs next year as well, too. Will they be successful? We got to see. But now they have an idea of what to do. What you think, Jeff?
Well, getting back to Devin White, if they gave out an MVP for the whole playoffs and Super Bowl, hands down, he wins that without even blinking. He was phenomenal in the playoffs. And as to Bowles and the scheme, everyone's talked about Reed and not making adjustments and Bieniemy bad scheme as well. With the 2 O-linemen out and Mahomes with turf toe, you would have thought they would have had to try to at least establish the run. I mean, those safeties were playing so far back. You knew Tyreek wasn't going to get 200 yards in the first quarter. Dink and dunk with Kelson. They were doing a great job. They even showed White there, getting up in his grill. And then, usually when Kels will push off you, you'll fall back. But he was right there, and some of the other safeties and linebackers as well. Hats off, Bowles. And you know what? He's going to get another shot. The Jets were premature. They pulled the plug too quick. It's a win now. What have you done for me lately business? And it was just the wrong time for him. They didn't have enough patience. But agree, Bowles and White, MVPs as well yesterday.
All right. So with that, we still have some more time. We're still going to talk a little bit more Super Bowl. We're going to talk a little bit more about the defense with Sue and JPP a little bit. And then we're going to talk about AB and Fournette getting their last laugh as well, too. But we'll be just so stay tuned. Stay right there, Jeff. We're going to be right back. Just got to go ahead and pay some bills real quick. And you guys already know. You guys go ahead and hit the show description. You guys already know. Go to Fubo TV. You guys get all the sports you want to get. If you guys want to watch all 8 games tonight in the NBA, I think you can go ahead, check it out. Get your free trial today. And then you guys will get 7 days. And then you guys can sign up for $55 a month. No credit checks. If you guys don't like it at the end of the month, it's not going to hit any credit or anything like that. What happens is they just cut it off and you move forward in life. So that's Fubo TV. Go ahead and press the link in the show description, and you guys will be able to get yourself 7 days free of Fubo TV. And if you guys do want to sign up, $55 a month, and you get sports every night. You'll be looking like the Westgate. Okay, so pretty much, but you got to have 10 more screens though. Okay, it's not 10 screens. Okay, so with that, we'll be right back with the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a PrimeWave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the PrimeWave Media channel on YouTube. Angles live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and the Don of Cape Cod himself, Jeff Dawson. Jeff, so pretty much I was just intrigued last night with JPP, Sue, and we already talked about Devin White, but JPP and Sue, though, man, these guys were 2 guys that were thrown away. Let's just be honest. You know, JPP signed a big deal down in Tampa Bay because New York didn't want to pay him anymore. They didn't see the reason why. You know, they used the whole firecracker situation as a way not to sign him back and things of that nature. And you know what, Tampa Bay said? They didn't care. They went ahead and took him on and said, you know what, he'll love this fine weather down here. And you know what, JPP went through the motions with this team as well too. Then you see Sue, who was on the Dolphins at one point. Then he was with the Rams, helping them get to the Super Bowl. Then, you know, he gets over here to the Bucks and everything like that, and everybody's pretty much already throwing Sue away. Yeah, Sue's career is almost over, man. It is what it is. But when we went down to it and came down to it and everything just came into place, these were your most important players last night, because it's just like Billy Bean said in Moneyball. These guys, it's not about what you did in the past, it's about what you know right now. And that's exactly what happened in that game. I feel like they structured this team like how you structure good baseball teams, in a sense, Jeff. And that's why these players were able to dominate at this level, at this moment, at this time. And that's why the Buccaneers were able to run away with this game. Not beat them close, but beat them down. What you think about that?
Sue, Nebraska. I mean, I remember watching him when he was a kid in diapers, and then, you know, come into the NFL, and it was, you know, making headway. You know, I hate to even say, you know, some bad cheap shots here and there. Considered a pretty dirty player, and JPP, again, a force to be reckoned with when he was with the Giants, and then the incident with the firecrackers. You know what, Pops, that was a good analogy that you did bring up about a baseball team, because I think the Bucks last year, even their defense showed signs. They were young, they were aggressive, they were a physical defense, and sometimes it takes time, and obviously another year of seasoning is what it took. And you know, after their 7-5 start, you could see week to week that these guys were getting better and better. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's almost like a plug and play. You step back and look, okay, where are we hurting? Where do we need? And when you can bring in a veteran like that, it just makes so much sense. And to, you know, in the NFL with the cap, sometimes the big ticket guys that have struggled early, these teams don't want to take chances. So hats off to the Bucks again. It's not easy to bring Sue on, bring JP and P on, and then swing and miss. They bought in, add Devin White, and the rest is history, my brother.
And then you know what? And the unsung hero on the defensive side, and we need to mention him, even though he got a terrible call late in the game, Antoine Winfield Jr. Absolutely incredible. The way that he just literally was Tyreek Hill's security guard. Yeah, I'm going everywhere you go. I think he even walked over to the other side with him at certain points of the game and drank a Gatorade with him. I don't know. So pretty much, I really do. Man, that was absolutely amazing. And you know what? This just goes back to me thinking about the Bucks almost 20 years ago. This is almost the same situation. You had Devin in the role of Derek Brooks. You had Winfield in the role of John Lynch. You had Sue and JPP taking off, who both being Sapp, and our boy Booger McFarland was a part of that team as well too, who was a monster. That's why y'all got to stop disrespecting Booger. Booger was a hell of a player, 2-time NFL champion. So when he's talking, you need to listen, little internet people. So pretty much that's it. So with that, Sue, JPP, Devin White, just incredible, man. I got to give them their props, man, because they're going to give Brady everything. They're going to give Brady everything. Hey, to Key Ingredient, she's a big fan. I always want to say, got to say what's up to her. She's always supporting whatever platform we on. So pretty much had to say what's up to her real quick. And pretty much, man, I'm telling you, this is going to be an incredible off season in a sense, because we have a lot of people that are going to be ready to, throw their team out there and say that, oh, we got a chance now, because next year is wide open. I don't care. There were a lot of things that got exposed yesterday with the Chiefs. You can't guarantee they're going to be back in the Super Bowl next year, because now you got to pay people. And now you might have some unhappy people. You don't know how that locker room feels this morning you don't know how this locker room feels about Mahomes later on this week. I know they love him, but after last night, I would be questioning you a little bit as well too. You know what I mean? Because is your head where it needs to be? You know what I mean? Or because the thing is, I know a lot of people are like, he's focused, he's doing his thing, but as I was saying, the last few weeks of the season, I said, you're spending a little bit too much time on Twitter. You're doing a little bit too much. You're not paying attention enough. You feel what I'm saying? And they were playing all these really close games. You know what I mean? And he got this cocky attitude about everything's a sure shot. But I want him to remember how bad he used to be at Texas Tech as well, too, and how they used to get blown out by every elite team possible as well. So pretty much that's what I'm looking at. And then you look at guys like AB and Fournette right now, man. Do they get the last laugh? Yes, they do. Because the Jaguars looking real bad this morning, and the Steelers, well, the Raiders were actually getting punked, so they don't count. But the Steelers feeling kind of dumb this morning as well too, because if they still had AB, they would have been able to be in the Super Bowl this year with him and Ben Roethlisberger. That's exactly who Ben was missing, because that's who can get the separation for him, like automatically, especially. And I know he got a great group that they have there now, but AB would have made that group the best group in all of football. And I think that he was just warming up this season. He didn't even get to play a full season. So if they are able to get him and Brady next year on a full year, he'll probably be a 1,000-yard receiver once again as well, too. And I know a lot of people don't want to see it and they don't want to respect it, but it is what it is. He is a golden talent. And Fournette has always been a great talent as well, too. And he was able to get out of a bad situation there in Jacksonville as well, too. So that's kudos to him. And he was able to show people that he was not done yet, and that pretty much the best is yet to come. And I think that's exactly what he showed us last night. So AB Fournette get the last laugh. What are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, if you look how Tampa Bay used both of them too throughout the season, Fournette was a healthy scratch a few times. They knew deep down that we didn't need to get him rolling till the playoffs, and they have a nice backfield, with Fournette and Rojo, a nice kind of change of pace with both of those. Getting to AB, I think next year he'll be even more involved because he would be there for the full year, number one. Number two, a lot of rumors already that Indianapolis is hot and heavy for Godwin. So be interested to see if Godwin sticks and stays or what goes on there. But, I don't know what's more funnier is, AB and Fournette or LaShawn McCoy, 2 rings. back to back, and he never played it down in either one of the Super Bowls. So hats off to all those guys. They got their rings. It'll be interesting. Off seasons, what happens in the NFL? Do the Super Bowl hangover? It's been what, since the Patriots way back when, to win back-to-backs. It's almost impossible. You know, the Chiefs were trying to do it. So now the Bucks will have the target on their back. And Mahomes, you brought up Mahomes. I can fully see him bouncing back with a vengeance. I mean, I guess it's kind of a warrior. I mean, there was no one. I mean, just think of if you didn't have Mahomes back there, if you had a pocket passer back there, they would have been sacked 28 times. He was pressured 29 times, Pops. And I mean, there was sometimes he was running back foot 20, 25, 30 yards. He almost hit Pringle on that one in the back left corner. So, again, AB, Fournette, I'll even throw McCoy in there. They did get the last laugh. It'll be interesting to see how Mahomes bounces back, as you said as well.
I just hope that everything works out for him. This was just a hiccup, but you know what though? A lot of times guys know how to see this becomes. I'm not going to say that it's the beginning of the end, but I'm just going to say that maybe why don't we just hold back a little bit on the hype a little bit and just let him just keep progressing into his career and see exactly where he takes us. You know what I mean? Because this has been a great 3-year run, but it wasn't all by itself. That's what people have to understand. When you got Tyreek killing Kelsey, you're going to be great. It doesn't matter. You're going to be great with those two. And then you got the guys that just all you got to do is get open and catch the ball. You're going to be great. So it is what it is. That's how it is when your chemistry is right. But you only have a 3-year window. Belichick, you used to knows how to keep recycling, reusing the same situation, same player, different jersey, different name. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the Super Bowl odds real quick, and let's go ahead and check it out. And guess what, Jeff? Guess who the favorite is?
Let me guess. Kansas City.
Kansas City, of course, they're the favorite, and pretty much, yeah, thank you. Pretty much, as you guys can see. All my Lions fans, Jets fans, Bengals fans, Texans fans, y'all can gamble a little bit. Y'all can put down so you can win $100. Okay, $1,000 actually. You win $1,000 with a hope and wish that your team will get to the Super Bowl next year. And then same thing goes with Washington and the Giants and the Patriots as well. And people are going to actually feel very. I can see people now doing the Patriots like, you know what, it's still Bill and 60-1, and maybe y'all might be able to get some. No, that team is headed to the top 10 for the next 3 seasons, I think, Jeff, to be honest with you. I think that Belichick might be Belichick's curtain call in a sense in New England as well, too. And then when I look at it, I say, but I do see good odds here when you look at a team like the Rams at 16-1 with the big hype that's going to come because, with Stafford, it's Super Bowl or nothing. And then when I see the 49ers back at 16-1, that's rightfully so because they should be a better team next season. They lost a lot of close games last year, and we knew that the quarterback was the hindrance in a lot of those losses that they had last season as well too. The Bucks being 8-1, I think that's some love, but we know that's going to dip back down to maybe about 10, 12-1 as well too as we move forward because there's going to be the doubters and haters that are going to really pile on and say the Packers and the Ravens, but I really have no idea why the Saints are here, Jeff. 14-1 to be 40-1 to be honest with you. They should. I honestly think that they need to be changing places with the Titans in a sense. But who brings the best value in my opinion? And it's crazy because I hate to put these two teams up there like that, but the Steelers and Cowboys coming in at 30-1, that's absolutely incredible. That's a steal to me because that's a possible Super Bowl game next year as well too. If those teams can put it all together the right way. So, what are you thinking about this board, Jeff?
Well, it's funny because we gave out Pittsburgh early in the preseason, and they started off 11-0, and we looked like heroes. You brought up the Rams at 16-1, and obviously, if that defense comes back the way it was last year, and the fact that you bring in Stafford in, and if he doesn't make the mistakes, they're obviously a check mark. But I was going to tell all the listeners to run to that window and grab the 49ers now at 16-1. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I do know that deep down the 49ers need to make a move at quarterback. They want to move on from Jimmy G, and all rumors I'm hearing, they want to go all in on Deshaun Watson, and I would be punching tickets all the way till the cows come home if the 49ers added Deshaun Watson at the 16-1 price. And then other than that, the others are just swings right now. We know in the NFL, 6 teams in the playoffs, there's a half dozen teams that made it this year that won't make the playoffs, and vice versa. So agree with you with the Pats assessment. They are moving on out. There's rumbles of Wentz maybe going to the Bears, and the Bears sending Foles back to the Eagles. I heard that last night. So all rumblings, but that one number that sticks out to me right now is the 49ers at 16-1. And if they ever get Deshaun Watson, they'll move to 8-1 in a heartbeat.
And look, I know I sound crazy right now, but I'd rather have Trubisky over Wentz. Wentz mentally is shot to me. Trubisky is going to be better because Trubisky saw that he can actually play in this league those last few weeks of the season. And if he has a confident coach and a confident offensive coordinator, he can do this. You know what I mean? It won't be a problem to do this. You know what I mean? So while we all just kind of just fall back a little bit, Bears fans, and I know my brother Ray Flores is going to be mad at me when I say this, but you okay with Trubisky? It's okay. Sign Allen Robinson. Go get another offensive threat, receiver-wise. Go get yourself a big, sturdy running back. Montgomery's not a bad running back at all either. And please fix your O-line. That's the biggest problem. That's their biggest issue right now is the O-line. If everybody looks at the Browns, the reason why the Browns were so successful, they had the number 1 offensive line in football. And that offensive line was able to let them make mistakes, and they still were able to win games. You know what I mean? So it is what it is at the end of the day. So there it is with that. And let's move forward and look at my top 5 futures real quick, Jeff. Chiefs 5-1. Of course, they'll be there. Bucks 8-1. Of course, they'll be there just because they were in the game last year. This will change in the next few months. You know that. You know me. Then the Bills 10-1. I like that Bills team. I think the Bills will be in the Super Bowl next year, to be honest with you. And then I like that Rams 16-1. And then once again, I know I'm tripping. I might as well walk out on a ledge right now. What's up with me and the Cowboys? I know, but that 30-1 on the Cowboys with one of the best offenses in football, if they can get a healthy Dak back and a confident Dak back, they should be on point to be one of the better teams in the NFL next season. They play great ball in the second half of the year. So that's my top 5 futures for you right there, Jeff. Now, free agency, who's the top free agent that you have on your list this year?
Well, you actually hit upon him a few minutes ago. I think it'd be interesting to see where Allen Robinson goes. I think he doesn't get enough love in Chicago or in the media or social media. I mean, you look what he has dealt with, for quarterbacks, the OCs, the head coaches, and the weather sometimes in Chicago isn't the easiest as well. The guy just puts up numbers, and he puts up big numbers. So that's number 1. Number 2, where Indy goes with quarterback as well. Their defense is phenomenal. They have a great offensive line. They have some weapons at wide receiver. So I talked about Godwin over there, maybe even Allen Robinson over there. And what do they do at quarterback? And they got a great young running back with Taylor there. So it'd be interesting, Robinson, what's going on with Godwin, and obviously the quarterback carousel. That is my 3 big ones to be watching.
All right, and I can't wait to talk to you more and more about that quarterback carousel. We'll have something for that next week. And then, when I bring you in next week, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. It's time to start talking college basketball, Jeff. We're in February now. We're a month away from March Madness. It's time for us to start breaking this thing on down for the people and showing them exactly where they're going to need to go to when it's time to really pick these teams come March Madness and things of that nature. That's why we play on these small conferences so much as well, too. So we get a good idea about these matchups, all right? So pretty much my main man, Jeff Dawson. I'm about to let you go. I thank you so much for your time today and everything like that. And we need to get you, and I'm gonna have to get you a gift very soon from the Hat Club. You already know what it is, man. You go ahead and get your 50% or 50. You get your 10% off with a $50 order or better. You get your drip at the Hat Club. I'm gonna have to go get Jeff Hartford Whalers throwback hat, something of that nature.